All right. Maybe you guys are too far. If only you could see what I had you precariously perched on. Hi everybody, it's Kim. I just wanted to start my first video by saying hello and welcome, and I'm super excited to be doing this. I've been watching beauty YouTubers do their thing for, I don't know, 3 years now, and my husband has been telling me to start a channel, so here I am. I'm sure I'm gonna watch this back one day and cringe at how super awkward I am, but for now, hi, my name is Kim, and obviously I'm here because I love makeup. So I thought for my first video, what I could do is show you guys my everyday makeup. So this is basically the makeup that I use on an everyday basis. If I'm in a hurry or I'm late for work and I don't feel like rifling through all the other stuff in my Alex drawer, then this is the stuff that I will go towards because it's no fuss, no muss. I know exactly what's in here, and it's easy for me to do. So why don't we go ahead and get started? But before we do, I would just love it if you guys would subscribe to my channel. And I'm hoping to get as much content out as possible. I don't know yet what my upload schedule will be, but I'd like to shoot for 1 or 2 videos a week starting now, because I do work pretty much full time, so I know that I'm not going to be able to get out more than that. So probably 1 or 2 a week, and I'll try and figure out when I'm going to do that so I can give you guys a more consistent upload schedule. But yeah, for now, subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. I know that really helps out a lot, and yeah, let's get started. All right, so why don't we start with complexion, since that is usually what I do first, especially if I'm in a hurry and I'm not doing eyeshadow. I'll start with foundation. So in the bottom drawer here, I have all of my kind of complexion products. So firstly, starting with primer. After trying out a lot of samples of a lot of different primers, I've come across 2 that seem to work. So firstly, my skin type is kind of, it's oily, but I have been on a retinol now for a while, and so I do have a lot of like dehydration in this area especially. I tend to kind of peel and crackle, and so product can kind of look gross, but at the same time I get super oily still in this area. So it's kind of a battle trying to figure out what kind of complexion products to use so that I don't look dry, but then I also don't get too oily throughout the day. So what I found is doubling up on primers is the way to go, for me anyways. So the first thing that I've been using is the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. So that's what that looks like. And I thought for sure that this was going to be horrible for me and make me super duper oily. Sorry, my cats are literally fighting. Oh, and there she goes. I thought this was gonna make me super duper oily and feel gross, but actually what I do is I put this on kind of as my morning moisturizer. So after I wash my face, I'll use this and I'll let it sink in for at least 5 minutes before I go in with my other primer, which is, I just have a little mini here because I have to repurchase the full size, but it's the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. And sorry, my cat's being a jerk. Sorry about that. So, as I was saying, after I use the moisturizing primer, I go in with the pore filling primer. And a lot of people say that this doesn't do anything for them and it makes them oily. For me, I found that this actually does something, and it keeps my makeup on longer. It does make my pores look smaller. I have like massive pores around my nose, and I find that this really helps with that. And yeah, so then after I'm done with that, I will, again, I'll try to wait like a minute or 2. I think primers kind of really adhere to your skin better when you don't mess with them for like the first 2 minutes that you put them on. And then I'll go in with one of probably 2 foundations that I love, and then 2 others that I'm trying out. So my first foundation that I love, and that is like literally the best foundation I've ever used. Tried a lot of foundations and I don't know what's wrong with my skin, but I'd say like 90% of them don't work for me. When I found this one, I was so excited. So this is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. And it says on the bottle that it's oil-free, 14-hour wear, oil controlling, and photo-friendly, and I would totally agree with all of those things. I am obsessed with the way this wears. I wouldn't call it, like, I think comfort matte was a good way to say it, because it's not super, super matte. It's maybe like semi-matte or even a satin finish, depending on your skin type. So if you have dry skin, I wouldn't shy away from this, because as I said, it kind of just glides over that super dry area on my face from using the retinol. And the color that I use is Snow, and it matches me perfectly. If you're any fairer than me, I think this is going to be too kind of orange on you, unfortunately. They don't have a huge range of undertones and shades in this foundation, which really sucks, but considering how well it's done, like everybody on YouTube that I've watched use this loves it, so considering how well it's done, I'm hoping that they'll bring out more shades, but I adore it. I think it's so lovely and long wearing. It doesn't break up on my skin, it doesn't get oily, and it's actually transfer proof, which is incredible. And it lasts, I think I've worn this 16 hours and it still looked pretty good by that time. So that's my first foundation that I would totally recommend. It's definitely, I guess, what you call a holy grail. And then the other foundation that I recently started using is the Maybelline Fit Me Hydrate and Smooth. So you might think that I would prefer the matte and poreless because of the fact that I'm pretty oily, but actually I hate the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, like despise it. It looks chalky and disgusting on my skin. Like everybody loves it, but again, I have weird skin and so many things that other people love don't work for me. So I went out on a limb and I tried out the Hydrate and Smooth, and honestly, I love it. It's not as long wearing as the Too Faced one, but it does look really beautiful and smoothing over my skin. But because I'm oily, my oils do tend to break through kind of in this area, in the T-zone, so that kind of sucks. But other than that, it's really, really beautiful. If I only need a foundation to be on for 4 to 6 hours, this is the one that I'll go to. So there's that one. And then the other two I'll just breeze through quickly because I'm not sure I have a full opinion on them yet. So the first one's the Wetnwild Photofocus foundation, and everybody raves about this. For me, it's a little bit dry. Like, I like the way it looks, I like the coverage, I like the bottle, I like the shade. The shade that I wear it in is Porcelain, which is a teeny tiny bit too light, but I can get away with it if I bronze up. I don't know, it's a bit dry, it smells like paint. It's really cheap, which is amazing. It just came to Canada, at least as far as I know. I found it at Rexall and I was so excited when I found it. And I'm hoping that mixing it in with another foundation might make it better. I'm thinking I might mix it in with the Hydrate and Smooth Fit Me because that one's a little bit too moisturizing and this one's a little bit too dry. So hopefully those two will be a match made in heaven. I don't regret buying it. It was so cheap that it was worth it. But yeah, I'll have to keep working on that. So I like to throw things in my everyday drawers that I haven't tried enough yet to make an opinion. That way I can form an opinion and then let you guys know. And then the last one is the Milk Makeup Blur Liquid. I have mixed feelings about this. On the one hand, the coverage is so nice. It says matte foundation on the back. I don't really think that this is that matte. In fact, out of all the foundations I mentioned, this one breaks up the fastest on me. It gets super oily super quickly, which is really disappointing. The coverage is beautiful. The color is really nice. I got this one in the color Ivory. Ivory, it says. Another thing with this one, which is weird, like it says on the cap, shake it up. And if you don't, this kind of weird clear liquid comes out when you try to squeeze the tube. But when you, like, it's a tube with thick foundation, so when you shake it, like, nothing happens. So then you kind of have to, like, mush it up, which also doesn't really work. So no matter what you do, you get that kind of weird clear liquid that comes out before the foundation comes out, and it's kind of like oily. I'm not really sure what it is. I don't know if that's what is making me oily when I use this, but it's too bad because it's beautiful, smooth, great coverage. If you have more normal skin, I'd say you might like this better. I don't think that this is actually made for people with oily skin. I know they say it is, but it doesn't work for me. Anyway, so that's the last foundation that I'm trying out. You need so little of this. It goes such a long way that I will not be running out of this for a long time. So, I mean, it is what it is. I will try to use it up, but it's not my favorite. And then the last thing I have in this drawer are 3 concealers, 2 high-end and 1 drugstore. The other one's hiding from me. There it is. All right, so the first one, I'll start with my favorite, is the Bare Minerals Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. This is harder than it looks to do this. And I love this. It's so nice. I have a ton of fine lines under my eyes, and concealers crease on me super duper fast, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. You have to find something that works. So this one, I find it still creases, but it doesn't crease as badly. I have the driest under eyes, like Sahara Desert dry under my eyes. The minute November hits, like I said, I live in Canada, I live in Ontario, and it's really cold here in the winter and then really hot in the summer. So the minute November hits, my skin is like, what is happening? And my under eyes turn into like the driest of dry patches, flaking, just no eye cream helps, nothing helps. So basically I have to find the most hydrating concealer I can, and this so far has been the most hydrating. It says it's a serum concealer. I think that's a super accurate name for it because it does feel very serum-y going on. I don't need a ton of coverage under my eyes. Bags and discoloration are not my problem. My problem is dryness. So for me, this is a nice coverage. I'd say it's probably medium coverage. It's not super duper high. So if you have like a ton to cover, I don't know if you could pile on a little more and it would make a difference. I don't think it's super high coverage. I'd say it's medium coverage, but it's super awesome. They have a good shade range in this. I wear it in the shade Fair, and that's nice for me. I don't do a super highlighted under eye, but it is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, so that seems to work really well. The second one that I like is, ironically, the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer. So this is really nice. Unlike the foundation, I find this to be relatively matte, but it still feels hydrating and it feels really nice under the eye. I do find I have to use a lot more of this to get the same look that I get with this, but I would say that Flex is a good name for it because it kind of seems to move with your skin. So I do like this. I like the Bare Minerals one better, but I do really like this. And then lastly is my drugstore option. It's not my fave, but it's not my least favorite. It's the Maybelline Master Conceal by Face Studio, and I wear it in the shade 20 Light. There is a shade lighter than this, but I like the tone of this one. It's very high coverage. I've heard a ton of, oh, I'm being climbed here. You wanted to join us? Say hello. Say hello to the people. You look very tiny on camera. That's my cat. Her name is Cookie. She's very small, and she likes to hang out with me at all times. So she'll probably be here a lot. Anyways, so this one, very high coverage. I've heard a lot of people compare it to Shape Tape, which I've never tried Shape Tape because it's not available in Canada. Like, you can get it off the Tarte website, but I hate ordering off brand websites. I don't know why. I just have this thing where like I want to order off of like a Sephora or an Ulta, and I know you can order off Ulta now. I am planning on making a super huge order at some point, so if you guys want to give me some suggestions about what I should buy, I want to buy some drugstore stuff that we can't get here, and I also want to try Lorac. But anyways, people do compare this to Shape Tape. I don't know if that's accurate, but it is good. It's quite thick. It does sink into my fine lines. I do have to set it really well. But the color's nice, and you get a ton of product. Like, you get 12 mils in this one, and it's like $10. You can get it on sale. You get 6 mils in this one, and it was like 30 bucks. So, you know, just kind of depends what you want. So that finishes the first drawer, and moving on to the second. I'll have to speed up because this video is going to be really long, and I don't know if anybody wants a really long video from me yet since it's my first one, so I guess we'll find out. So the second drawer has my powders and highlighters, contours, bronzers, things like that. So first things first, this is magic. This is my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I like this more than any other loose or pressed powder I've ever tried. I had the Laura Mercier one. It looks cakey on me. I can't explain why, but it just looks cakey, which makes me really sad because it was expensive. But out of all the loose powders on Sephora, that Laura Mercier one has the most product. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. I wear it in the shade 05 Fair. It does give a tiny bit of coverage, nothing intense, but it's so smoothing and it makes your skin look really, really nice. And it holds my makeup in place all day, which I appreciate. So that's my favorite thing in this drawer, possibly. And then I have this Kat Von D powder. I think it's called the Locket Powder Foundation in the color Light 45. I think this is actually a bit too dark for me. Like, it looks really pale in the pan, but when I put it on, I do find that my foundation just looks more orange. So I don't know if it oxidizes or what the deal is, but it's very heavy, very high coverage. I don't love it. I do tend to just put it on down here where I have a lot more acne scarring. I just kind of tap on a little bit of it just to try and make a little bit of difference in regards to coverage, because some of the foundations that I wear aren't necessarily full coverage. So there's that. And then I am also trying to use up this Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. It's just, it says it's translucent, but I mean, if you have a deep skin tone, I don't know, this might come out a little bit white on you. It's really soft, actually. Considering how inexpensive it is, I think this is really nice. It kind of blurs your pores just a little bit, and I generally use it to touch up since it's colorless, on me anyway, since I'm so pale, and I find that to be the best use for it. So I'm just trying to make it through that. It's not my favorite, it's not the worst I've ever used, but like I said, I'd rather use a loose powder generally, unless I'm touching up. So the only other powder I have in here is the Stellar Cosmic Face Powder in the shade, it's translucent, but in the shade Haze. This is like incredibly finely milled. Like, it comes out really, really, really fine. I think this might be similar to that Urban Decay powder that you're supposed to mix, the Velvetizer, I think it's called. I have a feeling this is very similar to that because I actually did try mixing it in with a foundation to make it more matte, and it totally works. Like, it mattified the foundation, no problem. I don't love it on its own. I don't find it sets my makeup that well. I still feel like I get oily throughout the day when I use this, so I don't think I would purchase the full size, but I haven't really heard anyone talk about this brand. I think it's a Canadian brand that's being sold on Sephora now, Stellar. I haven't heard anything about it, so if you guys want me to try stuff from this brand and let you know, please let me know. And then the next step that I would take would be to quickly contour. So I have my little, I think this little Z palette came from BoxyCharm, and in it I have my favorite contour. It's the only contour I use, honestly. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't use anything else. It's the MAC blush. It's not a blush, it's definitely a contour, in Taupe. So you can see it has this like super cool tone, kind of brownish, I mean, taupe is really the best way to describe it. So a taupe undertone, and it's what I've got on today. I don't know if you can tell. I know the lighting is kind of harsh from this light. I'm using natural lighting, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I do really, really like the tone of it. Whenever I do makeup on my friends, I do use this color if they're fair, and it looks banging. Like, really, really nice. Really, I wouldn't call it natural because like you're putting basically a brown stripe on your face, but it doesn't look horrible. Like, it does look like a shadow, and I do find it really contours nicely. Like, it makes you look cut. And then after I use that, I will probably, if I'm in a hurry, go in with my trusty butter bronzer, and I use the shade Light Bronzer because I'm super duper pale. Oh my god, it smells so good, and you'll see like it's super pale. I'm not even sure, can you tell? Can you see the color? Yeah, very, very light. But on me, it gives me kind of like a, maybe I went on vacation and I came back with a slight tan. I didn't burn. I would definitely burn if I was on vacation, but you know, this is the look that gives you. So I really, really like this. I can kind of slap it on and not have to worry about what brush I'm using and how hard I'm pressing and how much powder I've put on my brush, especially when it's like 7 a.m. and it's super dark outside because it's the middle of winter. So that's what I would use if I was in a hurry and I didn't want to mess around with anything else. And then for blush, I have the Studio Makeup Sahara Soft Blend Blush. So it looks like this. It's kind of like this really nude, I don't even know, it brownie peachy pink. I don't know how to describe this color. This is like my favorite blush. It came in a BoxyCharm, and I have no idea where you even buy studio makeup. I'm assuming you get it off their website, but I love this. And no matter what look I'm doing, if I'm just wearing mascara, it looks good. If I'm wearing wing liner, it looks good. If I'm wearing a smoky eye, it looks good. Like no matter what I do, this looks good. It blends out really easily, and it's super easy to use. I really like how tiny it is. Well, I wouldn't say tiny. You get a good amount of product, but it's small and compact, easy to travel with if you want to do that. Really like this one. And then that's the only blush I have in here, because who needs another blush when you have a boring peach one? And then I have three highlighters, because everybody needs 3 highlighters in their everyday makeup drawer. Don't you know? That's just the way it is. I have a cream highlighter and then 2 powders. So the cream highlighter that I have is the Physicians Formula Muro Muro Butter Highlighter in the shade Pearl. And these recently came to Canada. Like, I wasn't able to find them before. Doesn't smell as good as the butter bronzer, but it's really nice. This one has like this really cool kind of pinky taupey white color. It's just so pretty, and they do feel like butter, like they're so soft. Don't be surprised, these are not a powder like the other butter blushes and butter bronzers are. These are kind of a creamed powder kind of thing, and you can use them with a brush. I like using them either with a brush or my finger. I haven't used a sponge. I find when I use a sponge with a cream highlighter, it breaks my foundation apart. So a brush works well, my finger works well. This is super beautiful on its own. It's even more beautiful when you layer it with another highlighter. So I have been trying the e.l.f. highlighter in Moonlight Pearls. This is what it looks like. This is the one where you have to scrape off the top layer because it's hard, which is really weird, but this was really cheap. Excuse me. Sorry, she's being a brat. Hey, this is not for you. That's mommy's. Sorry. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a cool tone champagne maybe. And honestly, it's not that great. It's okay. I do find when I layer it on top of the butter highlight or any cream highlighter, this will pop. It was so cheap that I'm like, is it worth it? Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, I don't love it, but I've been trying it out and it's okay. It looks good when you put it on top of a cream. And then finally, back to this little guy. The highlight in this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter. It came from a glow kit. I think it was called, I don't know. It was the glow kit that had the more bronzy shades in it, and almost none of them worked for me except this one. This one is called Sunburst, and it's literally yellow. Like, it's quite literally yellow. Let me swatch it for you guys. And I didn't know that a yellow highlight would be my ideal holy grail highlight color, but it is. Like, I'm obsessed with the way it looks. It's so glitzy and glamoury, and you can build it up to look like really pop in, or you can kind of put a light layer on and it's just kind of natural and beautiful. So I really love that one. Those highlighters are super beautiful. I don't know why they discontinued one of the kits that had kind of the more pinky lighter tones, and I wish they would bring that back because I really want to try it. But for now, that's definitely my favorite highlighter ever. I don't understand why more brands don't come out with like that kind of yellow highlight. You'd think that being pale it wouldn't work, but it's super beautiful. I think it would work on almost any skin tone. Maybe not the deepest of the deep, but I think up to like medium dark would look really beautiful. And then the last thing in this drawer, because I don't have like a lips part of this kind of organizer thingy, is my Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipstick in Meringue. So you can see that I have completely destroyed this lipstick. I got it a year and a half ago, and it's one of my favorite nudes. So basically any look I do, probably I will put this on first to see if it works and if I can get away with just wearing this one. I have a drawer of like 1,000 lipsticks, and this is the one. The Amuse Bouche formula, I'm kind of iffy on. I don't know. Sometimes I love it. Sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I feel like it's really thick. And weirdly enough, when my lips are dry, I find it makes them look a lot worse. When my lips are super hydrated, this looks really pretty. So, you know, I guess it just depends. Everybody on YouTube seems to love the Amuse-Bouche formula, and I just sometimes find it a little bit thick. So, wow, I've already been filming for 25 minutes, so I don't know, should I continue? We have 2 drawers left. They're not really that interesting. It's all basically just eye stuff and then miscellaneous. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just breeze through these. So this is the Clump Crusher Mascara, waterproof. I use this on my lower lashes every single day. I love the brush, I love the formula. It's not volumizing enough for my top lashes, but for my bottom lashes, and it's always super cheap on sale. And then I have a bunch of Essence mascaras because I was on the hunt for the best one. So in my opinion, the best one is this one, the Volume Stylist 18-Hour Lash Extension Mascara with Lengthening Fibers. That's a name. I like it. I don't love it. I do find it volumizing to a point, not super lengthening, although it doesn't really, oh yeah, it says lengthening fibers, so I guess it does claim to be volumizing and lengthening. It's just okay, honestly. I know Tati loves this. I don't know. I want more, you know, like I want more out of my mascara. I want my mascara to make me look like I'm wearing false lashes. Is that hard? Speaking of false lashes, this one's called the False Lashes Mascara. This is the Extreme Volume and Curl one. This makes me sad. I love the formula of this. Like, I adore it. It smudges and flakes everywhere on me. Like, if I even so much as go near my eye with a finger, if I so much as a blink, there's flakes all over my face and it's smudging. It's so sad because it's so inexpensive, and when you first put it on, it's like, yes, false lash effect, this looks beautiful, and then it's just like, never mind, you're not what I wanted you to be. And then this one is, I don't know why they make so many mascaras that are called the same thing, but they do something different. I find that confusing. It's also called the False Lashes Mascara. This one is Dramatic Volume Unlimited. I didn't like this one as much as I liked this one, but they both flake and they both smudge, so it doesn't really matter. They both suck. I don't care how inexpensive you are. I don't want to put on mascara at 7 a.m. and it be flaked by 7:02. You know, I think that's just my preference. And then the last one I got in a BoxyCharm. I've actually tried this before when I went to Gen Beauty a few years ago. Unfortunately, this was in my mailbox in like minus 30-degree weather and it froze. And I ran it under hot water and the formula has never been the same. The original formula was very volumizing, not that lengthening. It's got one of those extremely painful rubber wands. And if you poke yourself in the eye with that, like, you're done. Your makeup's done. You're gonna cry for hours. I've done that so many times with this. So anyways, it's okay, it's good. I don't think it's worth the high price tag. I'm on the hunt for the best mascara ever. I haven't found it. I wanna try the Stila Huge Extreme Lash and see if that's as amazing as people say. Very excited about that. To be honest, other than this one and another Tarte one, which I didn't like, I don't think I've tried any high-end mascaras, so I am excited to try more. I did like the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, but it dried out in like 3 weeks. It was horrible. And it's not that cheap here in Canada. Like, unless you get it on sale, it's like 12 bucks. So, I don't know. I figure it's worth trying high-end. That's how I talk myself into buying high-end things. And then I have a whole bunch of these. Sorry, I'm gonna make some noise here. A whole bunch of these NYX Faux White eyeliners. They're like these pastel shades. So I have Vanilla, Baby Powder, Seashell, and Mint Cream. I love all of these. They're so pretty. When I first went to the NYX store at Yorkdale Mall and saw these, I was obsessed. I actually went back literally just to get more of these. I have another one, but I don't know where it is. I really, really like these. They stay in the waterline fairly well. I have very watery eyes, so anything that stays with decent staying power, I'm all about it. So I really like these. They're not that cheap in Canada, but I think they're worth it. I think Shoppers Drug Mart sells some of the shades now, but they do have a ton of them. They also have the faux blacks, which I'd like to try. I will have to get those at some point. That actually just reminded me that I do want to try that. And then I've got a few of these Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencils. They're just black kohl eyeliner. Got these at Gen Beauty a few years ago, and I'm just trying to use them up. They smudge, and they don't stay that long in the waterline, but they are very black. So there's that. I have this Annabelle eyeliner in Peacock. It's okay. Again, it doesn't stay in the waterline very well. I find really nothing stays in my waterline that well. Then I have the Rimmel, what is this called? Scandalize Waterproof Kohl Turquoise. This is good. I really like this. It stays pretty well. It's not waterproof. They say it's waterproof. None of these things are waterproof on me, but that's just me. Especially when you live in a super, super cold climate, nothing really stays waterproof on you. At least that's what I find. And then lastly, I have this eyebrow pencil from a brand that is unnamed. I think this was from Winky Lux. It was in a BoxyCharm. It's one of these kind of triangular ones. I have super thick eyebrows, so I don't really do much filling in. I kind of just use a gel. I find when I fill in my eyebrows, I look comical. So I don't really do much of that, but I do have this other eyebrow pencil by MAC that came in a BoxyCharm. You'll see all my eyebrow things came from BoxyCharms or from samples because I never buy brow stuff. So this is in the shade Lingering. It's a very nice color. There's no spoolie on the end of it, which sucks. And then Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I got this as a sample. I love this. I love it. This is great. This is like super glue for your brow hairs. I have really, really long and unruly brow hairs, and I find that this actually sticks them down. It's like super glue, and I love it. And then this is my favorite liquid liner. It's from the drugstore. It's from Physicians Formula. It's called the Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner Plus Serum. I've not noticed this boosting my eyelashes. I don't think it really does anything in regards to the serum that they put in it, but maybe it does. It's in the color Ultra Black. It says it's water resistant. I disagree. The minute your eyes tear up, it disappears, which really sucks because the thing I love most about it is the tip. I'll put it up there. Maybe you guys will be able to see if it would focus on something other than me. Yes? No? No? Okay. Well, it's a brush tip. You guys will just have to trust me. It's a brush tip with little brush hairs instead of a felt tip. This was a game changer for me. I don't know what I ever did before this. Actually, I know exactly what I did. I struggled and I cried every time I had to do liquid liner because it didn't work and I was sad. But now I have this and it works. It's not super duper long lasting if you have watery eyes, but I do want to try the Kat Von D one. I heard the tip is very similar, so I'd love to try that in the black and actually in the brown. I saw someone using brown liquid liner the other day and I really liked the way it looked. It was like super soft and pretty, so I'm gonna have to try that. And then lastly, guys, we're almost done, our 2 lip liners. And I don't use lip liner that often, but when I do, I use the Rimmel Exaggerate Full Color Lip Liner in East End Snob. Who raved about this? I think it was Coffee Break with Danny, was obsessed with this. I tried it. I love it. It's beautiful. Sometimes I wear it on its own with a clear gloss on top, and I like that look. And then the last one is one that Tati raved about, and this is the Annabelle Stay Sharp Self-Sharpening Waterproof Lip Liner in Java. So that's the way this looks. I know you cannot get Annabelle in the States. I think it's a Canadian drugstore brand, but I mean, there's so many things us Canadians can't get at our drugstores, so I don't really feel bad mentioning this because hopefully all my Canadian girls will be happy that this is inexpensive and you can find it at Shoppers Drug Mart and Loblaws and Rexall and anywhere you buy drugstore makeup. So there's that. It's really, really nice. It's like the self-sharpening one, so when you twist it in, it just sharpens itself and kind of comes back up. So that's really nice. And then lastly, in this other drawer are a bunch of things that I'm not even going to really dwell on because they're super boring. I have some lashes, some lash glue, some scissors, tweezers, and a few samples of hair oils. I'm trying to get into hair more. I am really, really lazy when it comes to my hair, and I'm going blonde in February because I want to, and I'm so excited about it. And so I'm using the Bumble and Bumble Hairdressers Invisible Oil. I really, really like it. It smells really nice. It is not greasy. It makes my ends feel really good, and I can put it not at my roots, but kind of near my roots, and it doesn't make my hair too greasy. So I'm really, really enjoying it. And then the other one, sorry, that I'm trying is the 100 Proof Treatment Oil by Drybar. The instructions on here said not to use near heat because it's flammable, and that really creeped me out, but I've been using it on my like already styled hair and it's okay. Honestly, I think it's more expensive than the Bumble and Bumble one, the full size of it, and I don't like it as much. So for now, I stick to the Bumble and Bumble one, but that's just me. So anyways, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know that I've been filming for 35 minutes. So yeah, it's a long one, but I have a feeling all of my videos are going to be long because I'm a chatter and I love to talk. So yeah, I hope to get back to you guys with another video soon. Thank you so much for going through this little box with me. By the way, if you're wondering where this box came from, in Canada, we're not as lucky as you US beauties that have a ton of these at HomeSense, but I was going through my local HomeSense and I did find this. So I was super excited because every single time I go to HomeSense, which is like way more than I probably should, but oh well, I never ever see these, but they had one and I think it was called Crystal Clear Chic or something like that, and it was about 30 bucks. So I think that was super worth it because I was about to buy some from Muji, and Muji is really, really expensive, so I'm glad I didn't have to. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!